words of wisdom for people who might be struggling to keep going and keeping on showing up? Anything that's helped you through the hard days?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, apart from coffee and alcohol, they helped me through the hard days. To be honest, like it's just never losing sight of the problem that you're trying to solve. I know that it probably sounds very simple, but it really is true. Like we don't know, you know, what Eggy is going to look like in 5 years' time, really, like, because we're very much led by our users and our community. But and all of those hard days, like I guess it comes back to that, because we have put everything on the line, that we just have to keep showing up. But for anyone who's starting, I would just say, just never lose sight of the problem that you're trying to solve, because it is what brings people together. And I guess that the framework that we have when we think about what we're doing with Eggy is it's problem, people, and product. So we start with the problem, and the problem brings people in. So whether it be your community, your users, your team, your investors, anyone, it's because they relate to the problem and they know the problem themselves. So problem first, people, and then like your product will come later on down the line. I think a lot of people, and I've probably been guilty of this too, you do have a tendency when you're first starting out to jump straight into product and kind of like go, I want this solution, or I want it to be this way, and it has to do this thing. And that's a risk in itself, because, you know, if you're doing that without listening to what people are asking for and listening to their problems and their needs, then, you know, you could build something that no one's going to use, and you've just, you know, blown a whole heap of cash on it. So just that problem. And we know too, the early days when we first started, we did a lot of research, and when you're first starting out, it doesn't have to cost you anything to go and do research in terms of just talking to people who are in your market and just asking them about, tell me about like how you currently manage this, and tell me like what are the pain points for you, and how could it possibly be better. So those things in the early days are so very important. And we know too that we had people breaking down in tears when we would do some of those interviews, just because of how that mental load that life admin creates. And so it's those kind of moments too that really just keep you going, because again, it's just the problem and people relating to the problem. So yeah, that would be my one thing, is just to never lose sight of the problem that you're trying to solve.